What is going on, boys and girls? How you doing? Welcome back to the Hat and Beard Show. It is Friday, February 27th, 2026, and the last Friday of February. Oh, boys, make sure that you're eating your fish today, and hopefully you're doing some good fasting. It is the best way to clean all the crap out. Guys, we got no time for that. I got no time. We're late for a very important date. We got all kinds of news with the Combine underway. Not only is the Combine kicking off and our guys are out there performing, we got stock risers and stock fallers. Whatever goes up must go down, and some people are heading right down to a lower payday amount of town. We'll discuss. We'll see what Chad Reuter has for us over at NFL.com. Then we're going to kick it over to Fox. Four-time Pro Bowler Derek Carr, serious about NFL return after retiring last year. According to reports, I don't know there how would be a little bit of an expensive pry away from the Aints, but we'll see what's going on with Derek Carr and what he has to say. And guys, look, all I'm saying is before we go ahead and do something ridiculous, we need to, because look, I'm gonna be very honest with you, boys and girls. When I seen this news yesterday, to put it lightly, I went from 6 to midnight. Commanders released starting center Tyler Biadasz, and I was like, oh my lordy almighty, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh. All of our answers, all of our questions, everything we've wanted is right there, with Tyler Biadasz being seemingly cut for very strange reasons over in Washington. So I did a little digging, and what is the real reason behind the Commanders releasing starting center Tyler Biadasz? This will come to us from Commanders Wire. We'll see. Well, the answer, the real answer is, it's because they're commies, and commies don't know what they're doing. Then we're going to go ahead and shift gears. We got lots of Lions news to talk about, guys. We got lots of Lions news to talk about. Even though this is a little bit of a ball teaser day, going to go ahead and blue balls you into the weekend, so that you make sure you come right back here Monday for all of your hard-hitting and based Lions and NFL content creation. More allegations emerge around TA. All right, this is something we've been following. Terry Arnold and his link to a robbery and kidnapping case. There are now allegations, false allegations, and not facts. Yo, if you know that reference, false allegations and not facts. The Detroit Lions cornerback Terry Arnold was involved in a robbery and kidnapping case in Florida. Allegedly. Yeah, see there, I protect myself. Allegedly. We'll see what it has. Hopefully, look, I'm going to be very honest with you guys. I don't want this to be how TA ends his tenure in Detroit. I don't want him to be linked to this. I'd like to think that Brad Holmes and company did enough of their homework to stick away from or shy away from an individual like TA. I mean, that's kind of the whole reason why we didn't take Jalen Carter, right? So if TA can somehow wiggle his way out of this, the number one way for him to make us all forget about this is to go out there and be absolutely dominant in his make or break third year in Detroit. However, and I do mean however, if things change as we progress towards the draft, we then have to start having conversations and thought exercises. Not only does this almost guarantee that Amik Robertson will be back in-house for the Detroit Lions in 2026, but we then it throws a big old dildo right in the machine, and it changes up what we need to do at the draft, possibly. If the situation falls where a guy like LSU's Manzor Delaney, or is it Delaney or Delane? Regardless, if that dog falls and we're sitting at 17 and he's all that's there, and TA's facing some type of situation, this isn't to take away from DJ Reed. It's just like, dude, you were doing really, really well, and then your knee fell apart and everything kind of went sideways for the Lions afterwards. Do you then look at a guy like a Manzor Delaney? We'll get into that. We'll talk more. Shout out SI Christian Boer doing yeoman's work over here. Then proceeded to follow up. I see what you're doing here, Christian. Not only are you linking stories that would correlate well with one another, but you're basically setting the show map up for me. Ha! Appreciate it. Thank you, buddy boy. Defensive backs who could rise up the Lions draft board after the Combine. See what we're doing there? We're doing thought exercises. You guys see that over there? Is that Christian Booer on the grandma wagon? Ha ha! Ha ha! Welcome aboard. Climb aboard the grandma wagon, Christian Booer. As well as the draft, the Lions meet with a trio of potential wingmen for Sam Laporta. Just so you guys know, this is a relatively solid mid-round draft class for tight ends. If there was a time for us to go ahead and grab a guy that is better than where they should be, probably in a normal draft class for tight ends, this would be the year to do it. We can go ahead and pounce on a guy in the 4th round. There is a few guys here that the Lions have already met with. Why are we looking for another young tight end? Well, as was proven last year, after Sam Laporta went down, Brock Wright turned into Block Wrong, and then, of course, he got hurt, and it was a rotating door of butt plugs and dildos at the tight end spot the remainder of the season. So we do need a guy waiting in the wings with Sam Laporta to be his wingman. Or, fellas, shout out the slipper over here, Mike Payton, is a shocking Sam Laporta trade brewing. Yeah, for whatever reason, I was on Twitter last night, kick popping around, just shit posting like I always do, and I seen this story start popping up. Now, I don't know if this is real. The problem I have with this, the problem that I have with this is that it actually makes sense. We will discuss that. Stick around to the end of the story. You've seen Sam Laporta on the thumbnail. That's why you clicked on the video. Can I get some likes just on my thumbnail alone? Dude, the thumbnail game has been off the chain this week, guys. So, shout out Mad Hatter Nation in the chat. You guys are popping off, and I absolutely love it. If you guys want to partake and join with the rest of the Mad Hatter Nation, the bastion of sanity and a sea of nonsense, you're gonna have to have a little bit of skin in the game, dude. But I think you get a relatively good ROI. All you gotta do is subscribe to the channel if you want to engage with the rest of the team down here at Mad Hatter Nation in the chat. Turn that notification bell on so you can be notified. Takes the thought process out of it. It's gonna send you a push notification Monday through Friday, 10 to 11 a.m. right here at youtube.com with the Hat and Beard Show. As well as go ahead and please do me a solid, share this video around with everybody you know. Play the game with us there at home. You can partake and play at home. Play along with the Hat and Beard Show. Share this video, hit the share button, and copy that link down on your clipboard as we go article by article. Every single time you do that, by golly, it counts as a share. And you guys have been just like sharing videos. I mean, just at an insane clip. So shout out to all of you guys at home. We're growing. We're growing more than projected during the offseason. It's because of viewers like you, and I genuinely appreciate that. You're going to want to go ahead and hit that like button for me while you're just rooting around in the bathtub underneath the video. Now that you guys have done all of that, we're going to go ahead and kick it over to my guy, Jocko, and then get into the show.
If you can say the word good, guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, well then hell, you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, and go out on the attack.
All right, guys. Appreciate all the hard work you guys are doing. For real. Shout out Trippy over there, dude. Mission getting accomplished. We're on the road to 1 million subs. And look, dude, all I'm saying is we're doing what we can, man. We're just the little guy out here swinging away. Just taking the good fight. Now, this isn't like a plug or nothing, but we could say that we're fighting the David and Goliath fight. And if you want to enjoy a little bit of viewership, dude, on Prime, look, guys, I mean, you know me. I'm pretty based, right? But go ahead and check out the House of David on Prime. Dude, it's good. It's good. And apparently, the guy who plays David actually does all of this, like, he actually sings That's actually him. So impressive. Now, disclaimer: be careful. I'm just going to give you a word of advice. Once the sun goes down on the side of town, and you put your feet up on the recliner to watch The House of David and eat a bowl of ice cream, you're probably going to fall asleep afterwards because the show is very relaxing. The music, the score, fantastic. Definitely worth a watch. You guys, just check it out. So, anyway, back to our incredibly based NFL content. I mean, come on, guys. Do you get more based than the Hat and Beard Show? Hell no, dude. And you guys, just a bastion of sanity. 2026 NFL Combine. Stock up and down. Sonny Styles electrifies. I think I seen one of you guys talking in the chat about Sonny Styles. Did one of you guys talk about Sonny Styles? Styles gone by 5? Yeah, damn it. Sonny Styles a top 10 player in this draft. I keep telling you that no way he falls to Dallas at 12. Yeah, all right. So, yeah, Trippy, you're all in on Son. So, okay, all right, you guys, it's not just me. Or am I the guy? Y'all, am I the leader of the bandwagon here for Sonny Styles? Yo, so you guys are smelling it, right? Didn't you smell what Sonny Styles is cooking? You know what I'm saying? And that's the way it is because Sonny Styles said so. You know what I'm saying? Bro, Sonny Styles is out here. Now, there could be the inverse to all of this where he's just out here crushing it. At the crown, he's out here. Sonny Styles is out there crushing at the combine. He's out there crushing at the combine, and he's going to turn into exactly doggy shita in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? There is that possibility, but right now I'm just over here. Look, we got a fresh batch of Sonny Styles in. And I'm just rolling fatties, dude. I'm just rolling fatties of Sonny Styles right now, dude. That's pretty much all it is, dude. Actually, here, check it out. Here you go. Here's his, dude. He ran watch this 40. Watch this. Watch him go. Here we go. Let's get the audio.
Set a record.
Watch him go. Watch it. Bam!
Here's his
Off
40.
he goes.
49.
Damn!
Sub
Woo!
4.5 for Sonny Styles.
So
We'll see what he does for his second crack at it.
Oh, did y'all see that? Did you see that fucking blur of a human being who claims to be a linebacker running a sub 4.540? And not for nothing. 40s this year. Did you see that big bad boy? That big 6'6", 300-pound boy running a sub 540. Holy hell, boys! These fellas, this fella right here. This is what I was talking about. This Devontae Capehart, dude. This cat. Oh, wow, wee wah. That's a big boy moving mighty fast. His measurables of a top defensive tackle prospect standing at 6'5", 313 pounds. With 10 1/4 inch hands and 33 7/8 inch arms, he impressed with a 4.85 40 and a 33.5 inch vertical. Damn. Yo. Oh, that's a big boy. He wasn't overly productive in college with 4.5 tackles for a loss in his last 23 games. So he needed Thursday's performance to show he can grow in a difference-making penetrator at a 3 technique. Bro, that's a big boy moving mighty quickly. Caleb Ellarms or Alarms? L Arms. Caleb L Arms or what? Caleb the Arms, or there should be a question mark there. Caleb the Arms, or Caleb never misses arm day. Caleb Arms, or Arms. He's just that. See, he's telling you what he works out at right there. He just says, Caleb, I can work out the arms or arms. His workout might have put him in the top of the talent group for potential day 3 picks at linebacker. His 4.47, wow, 40 at the 6'2", 320 or 234 turned heads, as did his 40-inch vertical. Damn, he jumped out the building. First team All Big 12 conference backer is built like a shit brick house. A brick house. They didn't put shit in there. I am so sorry. But he showed quickness during field drills. His film showed he can play the run, and speed he displayed at Thursdays convinced teams that he can cover at the same position as well. So someone to kind of keep an eye out, huh? A little sneaky kind of day 3 pick that maybe the Lions fans keep an eye out as we're looking to replace Alex Anal Zone. You know what I'm saying? Grayson or Garson? Garson Holton. Grayson Holton! Defensive tackle out of Oklahoma. He's a 3 technique who proved his quickness and agility on Thursday. His length is less than ideal with 31 1/8 inch arms, but at 293 pounds, he chugged his way to a 4.82 40 and a 36.5 inch vertical. His quick feet were evident in field drills, but also put on at full strength into tackling dummies to show his competitive nature. In a draft full of sub-300-pound middle-round interior D-line prospects, Halton has the best combination of tape and workout results. Malachi Lawrence, he stood out in a big way. He's an edge defender out of UCF. I know that it sounds kind of cliche to say, but like these quote-unquote smaller school guys, especially at the edge position like that. You know, he's a 4.2 or I'm sorry, a 4.5, a 4.5 240 and a 10'10" broad jump with a 40-inch vertical at 235 pounds. He used his speed and explosiveness and his 33 5/8 inch arms to accumulate 20 sacks during 4 seasons at UCF. That's 5 per year on average. Lawrence's straight line speed showed up in drills. Even he was a bit linear in his movements. Still, the combination plus athleticism put up good production should put him squarely in a day 2 conversation. The thing I have with these small school guys is, unfortunately, they come into the league a little bit raw. They have one really good, typically. Okay, look, I'm not saying everybody. All right, pump the brakes in the comments section. But typically, they come in as a little bit more of a one-trick pony, right? Now, that is fine. I'm not willing to spend a day 2 pick on that, though. That's a guy that if you're a one-trick small school guy like this with a lot of upside, yeah. Unfortunately, in my opinion, I'm willing to go more of a 4th-round pick with you than a 2nd-round pick. But you know what? Teams are going to do what teams are going to do, especially a team like Detroit. And finally, a guy whose stock went up is Sonny Styles. We know his back history, right? His on-field might have solidified his top 10 spot, and maybe even a top 5. The 6'5", 245-pound linebacker with 32 7/8 inch arms had a historic performance, becoming the first player to run a sub-4.5 second 40 with a vertical leap of 40-plus inches and a broad jump of 11-plus feet at 230-plus pounds since 2003. Almost 25 years since a player did something like that. The former safety showed nice ball skills and looked fluid in his size and drills too, which means he did everything he could to elevate his already substantial stock. Please fall to 17, Sonny Styles. Stock down, Caden McDonald. Didn't do well, didn't run the 40, didn't do anything to help his stock. LT Overton, not wild about this guy. Thought he had a lot of potential early on, but then this year kind of showcased that he's more of a slapdick and a little bit of a lazy guy. That seems to be a little bit of a trend going on in Alabama. R. Mason Thomas, an Oklahoma edge defender. He weighed in at just 241 pounds at the combine, which created an expectation, at least for me, that he would explode from his stance in the 40-yard dash. However, his 4.67 second run, including a 1.63 second 10-yard split, was ordinary, especially in comparison to Texas Tech. Oh, you mean the Flash! David Bailey, who ran a 4.51, and Lawrence's 4.52. Both Bailey and Lawrence are 10-plus pounds heavier than Thomas. His arm length at just 31 5/8 inches, coupled with his decision to pass on participating in jumps, did not help his cause either. Some guys can hurt their stock a little bit by doing something like this. Some guys, the teams really want to see you jump around on the field in your underwear. I know. Some teams really emphasize what they see in the draft or in the combine. Now, and I'm sitting here doing combine content, so I'm just as susceptible as that. But yeah, when you come in at a 241, a little bit lighter than everybody else, they kind of expect you to be, again, that one trick kind of guy. Now, yeah, he's playing over at Oklahoma, but they kind of expect you to have a little bit more explosiveness. At least that's the expectations in the natural build of things. And then David Bailey, who's 10 pounds heavier than you, turned around and basically became Wally West. And just ran his ass right out the building. He is the Flash. They call him the Streak. David Bailey, at least in the defensive end class, appeared to be the fastest thing on 2 feet. How do we feel about that, Mad Hatter Nation? You guys like what we're seeing over there before we kick it over to Fox News to briefly cover the old Carr? What's up, Brandy? Good to see you. Hopefully you're having a good morning. Both the Brents are here. Aiden Hutchinson had the fastest 3-cone by any big man ever. JC was only 1/100th of a second slower than Hutch. No shit. Nice. Work ethic Alabama players has been going downhill since Saban retired. Brent, you noticed that too? You guys see that? Since Saban hung up the old sun hat, I don't know, man. Seems to be a bunch of slap dicks going around down there in old Roll Tide, Alabama. You know what I'm saying? Brad and Dan were wearing shirts that had, weight, height, and weight, height, and speed on them are all crossed out. That's they're emphasizing their reliance on scouting and tape. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that is. That's what that shirt means anyway. I do like that they like to wear their little statement shirts. You know what I'm saying? So for the 4-time Pro Bowl quarterback Derek Carr, serious about the NFL return after retiring last year, according to a reporter. 4-time quarterback Derek Carr reportedly serious about the coming out of a retirement after officially retiring from an NFL career last year. Carr, 34, retired in May after 11 seasons, but recently said on his podcast he'd return if he was healthy and has a chance to win a Super Bowl. He also said that he had already turned down a couple of teams. Teams with, quote, winning aspirations have real interest in Carr, according to NFL reporter Jordan Schultz. If you guys recall, the Saints signed Carr to a 4-year, $150 million deal in 2023, so they still own his rights. But after they drafted and seen the success out of Tyler Shook, they might be willing to trade the rights to Derek Carr, right? He played last season. Might have to take a snap due to multiple shoulder injuries on March 25. Carr prepared for the season. He experienced pain in his right shoulder. The Saints announced the medical scans determined that Carr sustained a labral tear and had significant degenerative changes to his rotator cuff. The team's medical staff and Carr considered surgery on his shoulder, but there was no guarantee the quarterback would have the same strength, function, and performance he was used to. What's in the water in New Orleans that causes these shoulders to go on these guys? David Carr, former NFL quarterback, and Carr's brother said he knows former Saints quarterback is healthy. In Derek Carr's last season, he played 10 games, completed 67% of his passes for 2,100 yards and 15 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, and the Saints went 5-5 in the starts. That's the type of numbers that a 2,115 touchdown and 5 interceptions quarterback should have over 10 games. Yeah, that sounds about right. So, I'm gonna be honest. Ryan Cranfield, I think what we're doing here, both you and me both, are trying to cultivate viewership during the offseason. This is kind of a big old nothing burger, but I tell you what's not a nothing burger. Tyler Biadasz. Tyler Biadasz is a free agent. Coming to us from ESPN.com. The Commanders are releasing starting center Tyler Biadasz. Sources confirmed Thursday, freeing up more salary cap, but creating another need. Washington saves a whopping $2.8 million in salary cap space. The Commanders have the 5th most cap space available, but have only 52 players signed for 2026. The Commanders will save $8.3 million this season if they designate his release to a post-June 1 cut, and the savings would not go into effect until that time. So trying to just clear about $3 million off the books before free agency opens up. Biadasz was signed to a 3-year deal with $20.7 million in guarantees 2 years ago, part of general manager Adam Peters' first free agent class in Washington. Biadasz started 31 games the past 2 seasons for Washington, but this move leaves Washington without a clear starter at the position. The Commanders do have Nick Algieri still on the roster as a backup guard center. They could pursue one in free agency. Dallas drafted Biadasz in the 4th round of the 2020 draft. He rewarded them with a Pro Bowl berth after the 2022 season. Yes, so they do have Nick Algieri. Now, I think there's something going on. There is, of course, a possibility that this is just a cap move. But if we're going to go ahead and dive into the conspiratorial waters of why Tyler Biadasz was released, it's because if you look at the infiltration of the commie network, it's been slowly being liberated by freedom-loving Americans. And what I mean by that is agents of chaos have sown dissent within the Commanders organization, meaning that once David Blau was signed as the Commanders' official offensive coordinator, the freedom-loving American that is David Blau, stemming from the Dan Campbell coaching tree, has been doing everything he can to liberate freedom-loving Americans from within the clasp of the commie organization. And I think what we're seeing here is David Blau slowly manipulating the Detroit Lions or the Washington Commanders to bleed out some of their talent so the Detroit Lions can fill the necessary need. Bro, I was like, is this David Blau helping us out? That could be. Or, guys, let's run over here to Ivan Lambert. Ivan Lambert over here. I don't know why I did a Scottish accent. At Commander's Wire, what's the real reason? Now, he's going to bitch here for a little bit, and that's fine. Biadasz as your starting center has been effective, and he's a very important piece for your 4th year or your 3rd year franchise quarterback, but you, quote, need to release him? Why do you need to release him? Or why don't you need to release Payne? So he lamented about Daron Payne. Real quick here. For the other side, there were times last year Biadasz did not appear as strong as he did in 2024 season. Detroit Lions fans know something about players, getting up there in age, slowly losing strength, and after injuries, right? We know something about that. Taylor Decker. By that, I mean he was being pushed into the backfield. Perhaps Biadasz is playing with a nagging injury. Remember, Biadasz was injured on Christmas Day home game against the Cowboys 2 months after the season. Is Biadasz not recovering well or having some sort of injury setbacks? Here you go, check this out. Let's take this over to X and see what he's got for us. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he got rolled up on pretty good there, dude. That didn't look so great, dude.
What happened here? Well, you're going to see Tyler Biadasz right here. He's going to block and just gets So a little friendly fire, a little defender rolling into that bracket. Hopefully he's okay. That's the last thing.
That sucked, dude. That was no dice, dude. No dice. Do the Commanders already have confidence they can sign free agent center better than Biadasz? Dan Quinn was very positive and high on Biadasz. So what changed that you, quote, need to save a few $1 million? Might this reveal that David Blau has an evaluation of Biadasz that has made known to Quinn and Peters that the head coach and general manager were persuaded and thus resolved to change their minds, siding with Blau? Is David Blau Dan Campbell's agent of chaos, sent to disable and destroy an NFC potential playoff rival? Is this all Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes playing 75D chess? Remember, the Commanders also have a new offensive line coach, Darren Stapleton, who served as assistant offensive line coach the last 2 seasons. What's his opinion of Biadasz? Finally, the offensive line was the unit of the Commanders' 25 team that played well as a unit. Now, with releasing Biadasz, the starting left guard, Chris Paul, still unsigned. Could Jaden Daniels be losing 2 starters from the team's best unit? That doesn't bode well for a guy coming back from injury. Sincerely hope Peters, blah, 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 blah. What do we feel? Guys, is this real? Is Tyler Biadasz being released due to some type of degenerative injury? Is he slowly deteriorating before our very eyes? Is this the move? Is this a move that the Lions need to go after a guy like Tyler Biadasz? Is this David Blau pulling the strings, trying to help out his buddy Dan Campbell from behind the Washington Commanders lines? Is this true freedom-loving, patriotic Americans out to liberate the commies from the clasps of their dictatorial overlords? Megamind doesn't think I'm retarded. Oh, no, dude. I think Megamind's a good name for him, dude. Good theory. Blau also one of the coaches that put us on our knees in the playoff game versus Wash. Yeah, dude. That's true. That's true. You're 100%, dude. You know what I'm saying? I know it's an outlandish take, but you never know. You know, I mean, wilder things could happen. I mean, jet fuel melted steel beams. You know, so more allegations and non-facts emerge in the Terry and Arnold's link and robbery. I wonder if I could find that out. I wonder if I could dig that up so you guys understand the context of that. Did they scrub her? Yeah. Tiffany Henyard. There we go. I couldn't remember her name. Is this it?
So sure. Your critics say that you have a
Whoops.
Rat shit, bat shit, dirty old twat. 69 assholes, time in a knot. Hooray!
So your critics say that you have a significant security detail. First of all, how large is your police department in Dalton, and what is your security detail?
So we have about 45 officers in our village.
Say the line.
My security is warranted due to the fact of threats and things of that nature. But what people are not stating is it's in our CBA. That's our collective bargaining agreement. That's our union contract. So it come with the seat. That's what people are not saying. I didn't make this up. I didn't just create this and say I want security.
Your critics say.
God damn it! Where's the line? She says she goes false allegations and non-facts.
Shooter, are you ready? Yeah. Stand by.
My bad. Sorry, guys. I got sucked into YouTube Shorts watching gun content. My bad. There are new allegations and non-facts. The Detroit Lions cornerback Terry Arnold was involved in a robbery and kidnapping case in Florida. According to investigative reports, the Detroit News, the Lions cornerback TA has been tied to an armed robbery and kidnapping case from February 4th of this year. While Arnold has not yet been charged or arrested with any crime, a court order from earlier this week alleges that Arnold, quote, and his friends plotted and executed a plan that involved assault, forced interrogation, and theft. As for the allegations and non-facts, Arnold filed a police report. He was the victim of 2 robberies at the Airbnb in Largo, Florida. Thieves reportedly took $100,000 in cash, jewelry, and guns. Can I ask? Maybe it's because I'm a poor. Why do you have $100,000 in cash on you? I mean, I understand cash is king. You do know that Largo, Florida is in the U.S., right? Like, you can access your bank. You know, like, it's no problem. You don't need, like, fucking traveler's checks. What? Why? Why? Is it because I'm a poor? Chat, what's up, Resurrection season? Oh, what was that? Oh, yeah, it was that 69 assholes tied a knot. I don't know, man. It's some fucking hillbilly short that popped up in my thing. Is it because I'm a poor that I don't understand the concept of carrying around $100,000 cash? Why do you have $100,000 in cash, jewelry, and guns? Like, now, I'll be very honest with you. I understand the guns. I get that. But, like, you're at an Airbnb in Largo, Florida. Why do you have $100,000 cash on you, brother? Oh, man. The court order alleges that after filing the police report, Boaki Hilton conspired a plot to hold hostages and rob people he believed were responsible for the original robbery, and Arnold was involved. As a result, 3 people, including Arnold's personal driver, were reportedly assaulted and robbed. Here are the details, according from the Free Press. On February 24th, an order stated that the armed robbery and kidnapping were a direct result of, quote, Arnold and his friends deciding to, quote, take matters into their own hands after Arnold's rental home was robbed twice while traveling in a car with Arnold back from Tallahassee. Hilton orchestrates the ambush, according to the order. So maybe you don't go there. Just, putting that out there. Maybe you need to be a little fucking smarter with who you're surrounding yourself and what you're doing. Look, man. Sometimes, dude, you gotta cut your losses, TA, and I don't know, man. The order alleges that the text message is shown Ariana Ariana Del Valle, who is said in the document to be Arnold's girlfriend, instructing Jasmine Randazano to lure Tanasaka, who had, is that right? Sounds very Asian. Who had expressed romantic interest in Ranzano. You guys are not making it easy for me. To her apartment in Tampa. Del Rey allegedly told Ranzano to, quote, act as bait, ... with promise that Arnold and his friends would pay Ranzano for doing so, the order said. The judge ordered added, quote, text messages between Del Valle, and Ranzano show that Del Valle had been instructed to hold the victims in the bedroom until, quote, Tarion and Boakai, there we go, Boakai, and Fredo, another friend, arrive at the apartment. Bro, is he hanging out with the Italian mob? Del Valle, Ranzano, and Fredo. Bro. Is TA hanging out with the mob, dude? You know what? Until proven otherwise, I think TA has earned himself a new nickname around the channel here, guys. Like, I know everybody's got a little name. Do we start calling Terry and Arnold Henry Hill? I think we just refer to him as Henry Hill. So in the same draft class, Brad Holmes got Enos the Penis Rakestraw Breakstraw and Terry and Henry Hill Arnold. Oh. First time I feel bad. Robbed twice. Why the fuck did you keep... Bro! Well, Trippy, you can't fix stupid. Stupid is as stupid does. Well, that was stupid. Hell. Yeah, his girlfriend sounds like a piece of work. Choose your queens wisely, boys. Blink and she'll have you running. Bro, I cannot emphasize that enough, dude. You got to pick the right lady, dude. You got to pick the right lady. Help me. Hat and Boobs beats me. She beats me on the head all the time. She uses bags of oranges and hits me on the top of the head because I'm like 6'3", 6'4", and no one's really going to look, and I always wear a hat. But she hits me on the head with bags of oranges all the time. This is a deep, deep cry for help. Thus far, 5 people have been arrested in connection with the incident. Since the Detroit News is reporting, there have been no public comments from the Detroit Lions, nor from Henry Hill's camp. When a portion of the story was reported by a local Fox station over a week ago, they connected 2 of the alleged perpetrators in the assault and kidnapping to Henry Hill's camp, suggesting one was his cousin, another was the bodyguard. At the time, Henry Hill's representation refuted the connection. A representative for Henry Hill responded and clarified that Hudson is not a security guard for Henry Hill and that Williams is not Henry Hill's cousin. This week, Hilton pleaded not guilty to 3 counts of kidnapping to harm or terrorize and 3 counts to robbery with a firearm. There is a link to the full story if you guys want to find it down in the bathtub. I have the link to this article in the description from Jeremy Reisman. Shout out Jeremy Reisman out over at Pride of Detroit. And as well as then they have a link to the full story down here in the bottom for you. So, knowing that TA is kind of shitting the old better redo there, we didn't know you we didn't need to know your orange kink. See, I'm not the one with an orange kink, dude. I'm the redhead, dude. So anybody who dates me is subsequently a pumpkin pounder. So they're the one with an orange fetish. I just have the red hair, dude. It's people who date me are the ones that are pumpkin pounders, bro. It ain't me. Maybe she needs to upgrade to using apples. I told her to just start using lacrosse balls or rocks. I just told her to start throwing rocks at my head, dude. That way maybe we can knock some fucking sense into me, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll either, like, it'll go one of 2 ways. Either I will get superpowers, okay, or I'll become retarded. Either way, I'll think I have superpowers. So some defensive backs who could rise up the draft board after the combine. Which corners could catch Brad Holmes' eye at the scouting combine? Whoa. Sneaky, sneaky Christian Brewer. Why are we talking about DBs? Well, it goes kind of hand in hand with what we just talked about, and that is TA Henry Hill. Henry Hill. Well, Henry Hill, why, man? Why you got to make me look stupid, bro? That's kind of, I'm kind of taking it personal, dude, because I kind of defended Henry Hill for a while there, dude, you know? So Brad Holmes will be watching closely. He was a former cornerback scout during his time with the Rams organization. As a result, he knows what to look for in top prospects and will likely be watching the group. Here are 3 cornerbacks who could rise up the board as a result of testing today on Friday. You guys, we've talked about him a few times, though, not the name that typically hits the hot button, really gets our gears moving, and that is Chris Johnson, San Diego State. Johnson was a dominant force in coverage at SDSU, dominating the Mountain West Conference as one of the top cover corners at the group of 5 level. Now he has the ability to showcase that his athleticism can measure with the best at his position. Standing at 6 feet even, 195 pounds, Johnson has the physical characteristics to stack up against professional competition. He'll have the chance to strengthen his case with his performance in the test, as it could put to rest concerns about the level of competition he faced while playing for the Aztecs. Very interesting situation there, and I've seen him mocked to us before. D'Angelo Pons, also a guy I've seen mocked to us before. National champion Pons is now on a mission to prove he's one of the top cornerback options in the draft. Currently, he's viewed as a mid-round pick, but has some serious pedigree as the defensive MVP of both the Rose Bowl and the Peach Bowl this past season. Bro. Hey, Ivor, don't fuck with it. Hey. Fucker. Knock it off. Bro's trying to tear the damn house down, dude. Pons is conventionally small by NFL standards, drawing comparison to Washington Commanders and former Michigan Wolverines Mike Sanristil. Damn, I cannot. Why do you guys? I can't fucking read, man. I'm an illiterate son of a bitch. He plays physical despite his smaller frame and has the versatility to play either on the boundary or as a nickel at the NFL level, which is something that I think the Lions do need to start, looking after, is someone who can really play and excel well at that nickel spot. I'm not saying that Amik Robertson doesn't have it in him no more. I'm just saying, he ain't the best no more. The one thing that he did do really well, he didn't do so well. Luckily, there wasn't the best quarterback play against the Minnesota, but they still took it to us. You know what I'm saying? The NFL quarterback will reportedly do every drill with the expectation of the 40-yard, with the exception of the 40-yard dash, which he plans to run as pro day in April. No, dude, no. See, here's the thing, bro. You gotta do all the drills, man. Finally, Damani Jackson out of Alabama. Boy, what an illustrious history the Lions have with drafting Alabama defensive backs. One is reportedly kidnapping and robbing people, and the other has a ruptured Achilles. Jackson is projected to be one of the fastest runners at the combine, as his tape showcases his late speed. This speed allows him to recover from occasional lapses in coverage, and his traits indicate that he could develop into an elite corner with some improvement in technique. The Tide began to play Jackson as a rotational role in his final year as he began splitting snaps with Dijon Lee. That would indicate that Jackson may not be a desirable option, but the athletic traits that he is expected to showcase make him an intriguing developmental project. That means a 6th-round pick at best. Thank you very much. Nope. If you're going to lose out your spots in your senior year, sorry, bucko. Not too wild about you unless you want to go as a 6th or 7th rounder. So, that's just something we can kind of look at there. How do we feel about that? Mika's decent at nickel, yeah. You can always run, hat, run. Run, hat, run! On that day, for no particular reason, I just started running. You get the retard strength. You're picking up. You get it, Trippy. You get the joke, dude. I can at least wear a fucking... I might not be able to actually wear a cape, but I can wear a towel safety pin around my neck and pick up cars. I'll just be making grilled cheese sandwiches at 2 in the morning. But whatever, that's every superhero's got their secret identity, right? To keep my super secret identity secret, I moonlight literally at 2 a.m. as a grilled cheese chef. I see a meat coming back too, dude. Someone said it right in chat. We haven't had a great CB1 since Slay. We might have a CB done. Yeah, dude, that's true. We haven't really had a solid lockdown corner since Darius Slay, and thanks to Fat Trisha, he went and fucked that all up for us. So just so you guys know, the Lions are looking at tight ends. We did interview. Apparently, we sat down with some guys. Joe Royer from Cincinnati, Tanner Kazole, Tanner Kaiserole from Houston, and Marlon Klein from Michigan. All right. Joe Royer is the multidimensional athlete from Cincinnati. Royer drew praise throughout his pre-combine circuit for his rare blend of raw athleticism and versatility. He doesn't just block, he moves. Scouts note Royer has above-average bursts off the line, clean route mechanics, and the agility to carve out chunks of yardage after the catch. At the Senior Bowl and pre-combine workouts, its catch radius and physicality in traffic stood out. Doesn't that sound awfully a lot like Sam Laporta? Defenses will clash with him as both an inline mover and boundary threat, making Royer a potential complement to Sam Laporta's more traditional wide-tight role. Tanner Kazole, the Swiss Army knife. Houston's Kaiserole, Tanner Casserole has consistently graded high with pro evaluators for doing a bit of everything well. A reliable blocker with solid technique at the point of attack. Casserole also offers sneaky receiving chops, especially in crossers and seam concepts. He's not the most explosive athlete in the class, but his football IQ and assignment sound play make him appealing for a team like Detroit that values tight ends who can stay on the field in every down scenarios. The projection around the league is that Casserole could be the kind of guy you trust to set the edge on 3rd and short, then immediately turn around and beat a linebacker for a clutch 10-yard grab. And the last name on the list was Marlon Klein, Michigan's Swiss Army knife. Local fans might already be familiar with Michigan's Klein, a versatile, tough competitor who helped anchor one of the college game's better tight end rooms. Klein's strength lies in his blocking chops and physical downhill style. Pro scouts lauded his ability to sustain blocks on defensive ends and drop into coverage with surprising fluidity. At the combine interviews, Detroit coaches are said to have been impressed with his character, work ethic, and willingness to play whatever the offense needs him. A tight end who's equally comfortable in line, motion wide, or as a lead blocker, that's exactly the kind of complementary piece that can help unlock more looks for Sam Laporta, potentially. What this means for the Lions, free agency could play into it too, whether it's a veteran addition or a day 2 pick. The Lions want more options in its pass game and beyond. Sam Laporta. Laporta's ascent over the past 2 seasons, highlighted by his rare combination of receiving production and blocking competitiveness, has shown the value of elite tight end play. Adding another weapon alongside him would present nightmare matchups for opposing defenses. The bigger picture, this isn't just about another body. It's about creating strategic symmetry. The NFL's top offenses often operate with multiple tight end threats who can threaten defenses in both passing and running games. Detroit wants that same dynamic. We thought we had that with Laporta and block wrong, but block wrong, and hopefully he'll soon be gone. Meeting with Royer, Casserole, and Klein at the Combine was the first step. Now comes the real work. Turning one of those conversations into a contract or a draft pick and giving Laporta the weapon he deserves behind him. That sounded kind of gay. It sounded very mildly homoerotic. Also, just so you guys are knowing why we might be talking about tight ends in the draft, Rakestraw equals DB Davenport. Hell yeah, Rick. Ain't that the truth, dude? T has legal trouble. Rakestraw is softer than Sharman. Yeah, we do have a Meek and Rock, hopefully. Davenport wasn't hurt every year in college, was he? No, and Davenport had some productive years in the pros. He just can't stay healthy. Problem with Rakestraw, even if he is healthy, he's lost critical time on task, essentially 2 years behind. Trippy, that's true. The inverse argument, or the counter argument to that would be hopefully he spent all that time in the film room and really just being like effectively a coach, you know, just learning every dirty little detail he possibly can from film study, you know. I'd be thrilled for him to prove us wrong, but I don't see it happening. He's got one shot left and he'll lose it to an undrafted free agent. Yeah, dude, that's the thing, bro. Like, as much as, like, I'm rooting for Enos the Penis, Rakestraw, Breakstraw to be able to pull it off, I am, like, also high on Whiteside. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he's pretty talented, you know, for the route that he had to go through to get back to the NFL. You know what I'm saying? But around the tight end conversation here is a shocking Sam Laporta trade brewing. NFL Insider says Lions are being watched. Let's talk about this possible Sam Laporta trade. Let's finish up Friday strong with an article from the Slipper, Mike Payton over here at A to Z Sports. The Lions have 4 of their top players up for extensions this offseason. Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell, Brian Branch, and Sam Laporta. All 4 of these deals are expected to be market-setting deals. It's the price you pay for drafting so well. There are some thoughts the Lions won't be able to do that, and according to ESPN's Dan Garanzano, the league is watching one player inherently. NFL teams have their eyes on Sam Laporta with the intention of trading for him. Let's really dig into things here. It's not crazy to think there's a possibility that the Lions can't get all 4 deals done, but I also think that's a pretty baseline way of looking at things without understanding how the Lions do their deals. The Lions are really into using void years and backloading cap hits with guaranteed money being paid up front. It changes the way they're able to deal in multiple ways. Them backloading not only helps with lower cap hits up front, but it opens the door for a restructure or extensions later, i.e. Jared Goff. And it also gives the Lions an out earlier in the contract, i.e. Kirby Joseph. The Lions can get this done, but they don't get it done right now. Frankly, they shouldn't from a business side of things. The Lions' first motive should be to see how Laporta's back heals up. If he's able to come back in 2026, be the guy the Lions are used to, then you can work out a new contract with him before he hits free agency. You also have the franchise tag, which isn't too high for tight ends right now. There are options. And see, the thing is that we're kind of forgetting about the 4 players that are up for big deals. Gibbs and Campbell are the top dogs that need to be re-signed. Branch and Laporta, unfortunately with their injuries last year, have taken a significant hit to their market value. There is no indication that Brian Branch can even come back and be even a shell of what he once was post-ruptured Achilles. Sam Laporta, almost in the same boat, simply because of the finicky nature of back injuries. You know, this can go one way, this can go another way. But I think right now you focus on re-signing Gibbs and Campbell and let the other 2 see where they land post-injury. If the Lions were to trade him, you have to believe it's a low second-round pick would be the asking price, according to Garanzano and Ben Slowick. The teams that would have the most interest would be the Chiefs, Ravens, and Texans. With all that said, I have to fully agree with the other part of the story where Garanzano gives this trade a 10% possibility of happening. I agree with that. I think this is a story for story's sake. That's why we put it at the end of the show. I don't think moving on from Earl Laporta is anywhere near the mind of Brad Holmes or Campbell right now. He fits like a glove into the new offensive coordinator Drew Petzing's scheme, and they're definitely going to want to see where that goes. So basically, teams will be watching, but they may want to go watch elsewhere unless they can come through with an offer that Holmes can't turn down. Yeah, if you're going to offer me 2 first-round picks, I almost have to, you know. So I think this is just like a bullshit nothing burger story. But you know what? It is a story that's kicking around. It's the offseason. I got to fill out the show somehow or another. And I got to shout out, I can't get over the fact that this picture of Akeem Mesnor really makes him look like fat Braylon Edwards. He just looks like fat Braylon Edwards. Like, I actually thought that was Braylon Edwards yesterday when I first seen the story. So, Mad Hatter Nation, let's kick it over to you guys for the last couple minutes here of the show and see how we're feeling. Because not healthy for the regular season. I mean, he's another second round miss by Dan. Yeah, 100%. I'd be thrilled to prove him wrong. I'm hoping I'm wrong too. Yep. Davenport actually got his pinky hurt in college. Resulted in many infection surgeries and a partial amputation. Trippy, are you shitting me for real, dude? Rakestraw surpassed Broderick Martin as Brad's biggest bust. Martin at least made it on the field. That's true. Broderick Martin did make it on the field. Yeah. Breakstraw was on the field for like 2 or 3 weeks last year, I think. And it was mostly special team snaps, so I think you are correct. He has seen the field a couple of times. Yep. Personally, I'd make Jack the top priority in extension. Don't want Gibbs going anywhere, but he's easier to replace. Oof. I mean, that's a stance, Rick. That's a stance. I'm not going to say you're wrong, but I think both guys are equally as important, honestly. I think Gibbs and Campbell are equally as important, though vastly different in what they do. I mean, they play on opposing sides of the ball, but guys, I'm telling you, Jack Campbell's the next coming to Brian Urlacher. He's the next gold standard of linebacker in the NFL. It's going to be action Jack Campbell. But Gibbs, in my opinion, also the best running back in the game. So, you know, take it or leave it. They're going to have to pay the boys, though. Better pay them well. Make it worth their while. Especially because if Brad can do what Brad consistently does, where he goes, re-signs Goff, re-signs Amon-Ra, re-signs Penne before the market starts to shift. So he is, although making them very high paid, he's setting the market so that other teams have to follow suit and pay more. And it's almost a little bit of market manipulation by getting out ahead of everybody else. So by re-signing Gibbs, Bijan Robinson then can go and pound his fist and say, more money, please, because I'm signing after Gibbs. You know what I'm saying? Which then kneecaps the Atlanta Falcons, albeit by, possibly $6 million. That's still cap adjustment that they have to compensate for. So if Brad can get deals done earlier rather than later, it is more beneficial to set the market rather than react to the market. Does that make sense? We are really living in the 90s again. Haven't seen the playoffs since Redskins beat us, and we're talking about what you do with our generational running back. Damn, Trippy! Holy crap, dude. You're right, dude. And we got an all-pro linebacker, dude, just like Spielman. Holy shit, dude. You're right, dude. Damn, this is like the 90s. I want both of them to get extended, but life at the position. That's true. That's true. That's true. Life at the position does matter. On that note, boys and girls, let's go ahead and wrap this show up for today and subsequently the week. Don't forget, you can always come back through and watch these slap hypes on videos if you feel like it. The Combine is cracking off this weekend. It's day 1 yesterday at drills, day 2 today. There's also content on Saturday and Sunday, which will lead to multiple and many discussions on Monday. Don't forget, Monday is designated for mock draft. So mock draft on Monday, and we'll have a bunch of more information from the Combine for us to use to overanalyze and grandma wagon our way right into another week of off-season slog. But hey, I'm here for it, and you're here with me. I appreciate each and every one of you who took the time to comment down in the chat, who slapped a like on this video, who bothered to share this around. I do appreciate that. If you subscribed, awesome. If you haven't yet, hopefully you come back, check us out, and we're in your subscription next week. Turn that notification bell on so you can be notified on Monday when we go live at 10 a.m. Until then, have a great weekend, guys. Stay out of trouble. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. I've been Hat and Beard. You've been an attentive audience. We'll see you Monday. Bonga bonga. Frig off.